Okay, so up next we have the flexibility component to the pistol work. The prior video dealing with active feet is as necessary as this. I've separated the two videos though because you can do this as just a normal stretching sequence too outside of pistol training, okay? So the first is a calf stretch. So a recommended calf stretch that you can do is standing on a step and then having your heel fall down off the side and your ball of your foot would stay on the step. You're welcome to that. I don't have a step, so I'm gonna use a kettlebell. It is a little bit more difficult, but you'll get the idea. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put my foot on the bell, and now I'm gonna allow my heel to drop down, okay? So as my heel drops down, I want to imagine there's a barbell sitting on the front side of my ankle, okay? Again, the kettlebell isn't perfect for this. A step would be better, but like I said, I don't have one handy. So this is good right here. Drop down, keep the knee locked as you do that to stretch out the ankle. Okay, here. Another variation that I like to do too though, is just to prop the foot up here on a kettlebell or a step and push forward. This is also good. This is gonna be a bit more squatting specific. It's not gonna be as much of a stretch, but this is good to do during training. Something I like to do when I'm doing kettlebell training is just get a little calf stretch in the middle, okay? Then we have the hip flexor stretch. For hip flexor stretch, you're just gonna get into a lunge position here, okay? No need to see my head. So from here, I wanna make sure my hip is pulled up is the best way to say it. I get a little bit of a posterior tilt on my pelvis. This is gonna emphasize the stretch on the front of my hip flexor, okay? Also, you'll notice I'm essentially on a pair of skis with my feet. So I'm not like this or this. I'm trying to get everything in a nice straight line, all right? So from here, what I'm gonna do is, what I like to do is reach up in the air and then try to get as tall as you can. This will ensure that the hip is completely open. Reach up in the air and then take the hands and put them behind the back. So you can also do this with the palms against the back and contract the glute here. That is the most important part. The glute is contracted and then I'm driving forward. Now, as I push forward here, if my knee starts to track way in front of my toe, I'm just gonna step it out a little bit. Still contracting the butt cheek very hard here and then driving forward. And then I would switch over to the other side. Okay. Here, I reach up in the air, make sure I'm reaching as tall as I can to ensure the hip's completely open. Hands go there or there. Contract the butt cheek, go forward. Once I go with the knee past the toe, I just step it back out and come on back. Up next, we have the toe touch stretch, okay? So this is done standing. What I'll do is I will fold over in half, okay? Now from here, I'm gonna go down as far as I can. So if this is all I have here, I'll turn sideways so you can see. I'm gonna make fists. I'm gonna contract my glutes. I'm gonna breathe in and squeeze. 1, 2, 3. And I should be able to get quite a bit farther. Now it's really important that when I get to the next phase and I go to contract again, I don't rise up, which is what most people want to do. They go here and then they clench and raise. You want to stay where you are. Inhale, squeeze your glutes. You can imagine there's a walnut between your butt cheeks. You're trying to crush it. And hang. Now, the most important part of this is coming out of it. I want to drop my knees forward a little bit, put my hands on my knees, and use that to help. The reason why is for back health purposes. You're liable to get some gnarly spasms in your lower back if you just try to rise up out of that position, especially if you're doing this prior to training. I can't stress enough. By the way, if you are flexion intolerant, so meaning like rounding forward hurts your back, very, very, very common. Do not do this stretch. Any other version of a hamstring stretch would be fine, and I can show you those as well, okay? So up next, check my notes. Last but not least, one of my faves is the 90-90 stretch. So the 90-90 refers to the leg positions that you're going to be in, okay? So I have a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here of this leg, okay? So from the front, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my belly button and take it towards this knee, okay? So a lot of people are here and they try to go straight down to the middle. Instead, what you want to do is belly button towards the knee. Then take this hand, you can put it on your foot, you can put it on your calf, wherever, and stay low in that position and swoop over towards the foot, okay, and then back up. Now, what you should notice here is my back isn't going to round when I go forward. I'm hinging at my hip as much as I can. Really important, you're trying to get this hip pushed into the mat. You should feel the stretch in the back side of your hip socket or your glute. Butt cheek, if you're not feeling that and you're feeling the front of the hip, you need to shimmy your position around. You don't want to feel it in the front of the hip, okay? So from here, I hinge over, back isn't rounding over like this, and then I swoop over to this foot, stay low, and then back up, and then come back up, and then repeat. Same thing with the mobility complex. This is just another mobility complex. Do it until you notice a change, right? And then once that change fades and you're not getting any more change, you're not noticing any more relaxation around the joint, then move on to the other one. Or you could do it for a timer, same as 1 minute each per thing is what I would do. As far as the ankle mobility or the active feet, I would say do that for just a certain distance. So maybe it's 10 feet, just go 10 feet out and then 10 feet back. Or what have you. But again, notice if you're getting fatigued in your feet, pretty severely fatigued in your feet, go ahead and call it and then move on.